like a duck, like quack, 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 quack.
Oh, cool. It's a duck story.
Not exactly.
Wait a minute. If it looks like a duck, it's not a duck?
Well, maybe.
And if it quacks like a duck?
Probably.
You're not really making this any clearer.
Well, the thing is, it depends on where you are.
Okay. Still not any clearer.
Oh, is this one of those stories where you show us something new and challenge our perceptions and make us smarter? Yeah, still. Yup.
Why did you say so?
I am just as surprised as you are. But let's see. Quacks like a duck. Is it a duck? Maybe we are confused. And clue number 1 is right on the title page. Oh, here's our creature. And it's getting off of an airplane. It's got a bag. So maybe it's come from somewhere far, far away. Tonight was the night of the party. Oh, we're beginning with a party. It was Petunia's first party since arriving from Australia. I'm going to have to pause here because if Petunia is Australian, that means she must speak in an Australian accent. And my Australian accent is, what's the word? Terrible! Oh, accurate, yes. So you will have to bear with me. But I promise you, as always, I will always try to do your best, to do my best. Thank you, Olivia the Ostrich. You're welcome. Now, back to the book. It was Petunia's first party since arriving from Australia. It had taken months for her to get over the jet lag and the lack of Vegemite. Vegemite comes in a thing, and then it's like this food that Australians love and that the rest of us are mystified by. But Petunia was all set. She had a present and a party hat and a pavlova, her mom's recipe. And here we pause because you may be wondering,
what's pavlova?
Oh, that's a meringue dessert popular in Australia and New Zealand. And it's delicate and crispy on the outside, and it's soft and marshmallowy on the inside.
That sounds delicious.
Yup.
Wow.
How does Dill know this stuff? Okay, back to the book. So, Petunia, she's from Australia. She's over her jet lag. She's got a party hat. She's got a pavlova, which we now know is a popular dessert from Australia and New Zealand that's very meringue-like, and this one comes covered with fresh fruit. But, when she knocked on the door, which, by the way, party in full swing already, oh dear, it was a costume party. Petunia had missed that bit on the invitation. That never happens to StoryTeller because I'm always prepared. "G'day," she said softly. Everyone stopped to stare. No one knew quite what to make of her or her pavlova, which was wilting in the heat, and everyone is staring at her like, huh? What's that supposed to be? Asked the disco diva. Better yet, what are you supposed to be? She's a duck, came a cry. Petunia flushed. Oh, I'm really not. She's got this a lot these days. Being from Australia, Petunia looks different from animals over here. That's what I'm thinking the situation is. Over here being the US of A. What's wrong with ducks? Demanded a ninja. Do you have something against ducks? She's a duck! Oh, suddenly the tension in the room has just ratcheted up. You know what they say, said a knight in scaly armor. Where is he? Oh, there he is. If it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck and has a funny accent like a duck, added the disco diva. Now, hang on a tick, said Petunia, and this just proved their point. Definitely funny, very funny. And everyone is looking at Petunia. Isn't that incredible when you walk into the room and everyone stops to stare? Either it's divine or it's terrifying. And you have a bill. Do you have webbed feet? Can you lay eggs? Well, yes, said Petunia, though she was not quite sure how they knew about the eggs. But I don't quack. Why not? Because I'm not a duck. Is that so? Because the evidence indicates otherwise, said the hound dog of a detective.
Well, Petunia's really stirred things up.
Petunia retreated to the dessert table, which makes everything so much better, while everyone gathered together trying to figure her out. They're probably trying to figure out what her costume is, not realizing she's not wearing one. Meantime, there's the pavlova and all the delicious fresh fruits on the side, but she has other choices as well to ease her pain. We have some delicious moist brownies on the table, donuts, cake, cupcakes, anything that would love. Aha! She's a beaver, decided a punk rocker. Look at her tail. No, she's an otter. Look at her fur. I'm not either of those. Petunia just wanted to sink into the linoleum. Back home, it was perfectly normal to be a duck-billed, otter-footed, beaver-tailed, egg-laying Frankenstein's monster! Yelled a cowgirl. Then a very tall party guest wobbled into the room. It had a bill and webbed feet and a thick, fat tail and was carrying a plate of fairy bread.
What's fairy bread?
I don't know. Oh, I know. It's a traditional Australian treat made with white bread and butter and sprinkles, like thousands of sprinkles.
Ooh, that sounds crunchy and sweet.
Yup.
Delicious.
How does Dill... Is Dill Australian or something? Okay. Back to the book. So now we have a tall stranger party guest who's just wobbled in with a bill and webbed feet and a thick fat tail carrying a plate of fairy bread, which we now know is a classic Australian crunchy, soft, sweet treat. How rude! Quacked the party guest. What you'll see is no monster, Frankenstein or other. We're a majestic platypus, a water-loving, egg-laying, fuzzy-wuzzy marvel of nature. Petunia blinked. She was a bit fuzzy-wuzzy. Because you want to know the secret?
I totally want to know the secret.
The secret is Petunia is...
What?
A platypus.
No way! But wait a minute, then what's that?
Those guys are pretending to be a platypus because they kind of look like Petunia, don't they?
They really do.
I mean, check it out. A duck, an otter, a beaver. It's got the bill, and it got the webbed feet, and got the big fat tail. And all of those sort of combine to make one of these. But this one's pretending to be a platypus, and no one knows what Petunia actually is. And everybody's like, oh, huh, what? Do platypuses quack? Asked a knight in scaly armor. Just the duck bit, quacked the platypus. That makes sense, said an artist. Did it really? Wondered Petunia. Because platypuses don't quack.
What?
Oh, it's common knowledge.
Is it really, Dill?
Oh, yeah, they have a bill, but no quacking. Nope.
Whoa.
So weird. There's nothing else on earth as weird as a platypus, huh? Said the punk rocker. Echidnas are, blurted Petunia. It runs in the family. And you're probably wondering, what's an echidna? I don't know. Let's ask Dill.
Dill, what's an echidna?
Oh, an echidna. Oh, everybody knows that's the cousin of the platypus.
And?
Also, it's like the only mammal that lays eggs, just like the platypus.
So, echidnas and platypus are the only mammals that lay eggs?
Yup.
Whoa.
I know what you're thinking. Storyteller, I didn't know any of this. And you know what I'm thinking, kid? I didn't know any of this either. Apparently, these are the only mammals that actually lay an egg. You and I are mammals, but we're not hatched. No, we're definitely not hatched out of an egg. You know, we come out with our arms and our legs all waving around, asking for milk, you know, and an allowance and stuff. But these are the only mammals that are hatched. So if you're watching right now, you are definitely not hatched. Unless you're an alien from outer space who did hatch out of an egg and you're watching us right now. And if you are, we come in peace. So her echidna cousins were weird, thought Petunia, and much less fuzzy wuzzy. They kind of look a little bit like a spiny anteater. Well, that's news to me, said the fake platypus. Now, one of the beetles turned to Petunia. You still haven't answered the question. What are you supposed to be? So Petunia, the real platypus, looked at the platypus, which is the fake platypus. They'd worked so hard on their costume. She didn't want to steal their thunder, you know? So what is she going to do? I'm not anything, said Petunia. I'm just me. Good save. Well, that's something, isn't it? Said the disco diva, and Petunia supposed that it was. The platypus, the fake one, took a bite of pavlova. You know, I have no idea what this is, and it looks really weird, but it actually is pretty great. And the party went on, and everything's fine, and there she is talking with everybody else. Sometimes good things come in weird packages, said Petunia. The duck makes a good point, said the knight. I mean, look at all of us. And he was right. Costume or no costume, Petunia stood out. And that's saying a lot, considering that we have, you know, a raccoon ninja and a singing beetle and a basketball bear and a cowgirl cow. But Petunia also fit right in. So what we've learned here is that a platypus can look like a duck, but it doesn't actually quack like a duck because it's not a duck. Nope. A platypus and its cousin, the echidna, they're just a couple of happy monotremes. A monotreme? Jill, how do you even know this? Doesn't everybody know a monotreme are the only two mammals that hatch eggs and then also give their young milk? Yeah, everybody knows that. Yup.
Okay, so what I want to know is where I can get some fairy bread and some of that pavlova stuff.
You know what? In the interest of research, I'm going to take Green Bear to an Australian bakery.
Yeah!
And then I'm going to let all this new information seep into me. See you next time, kid. Or should I say, good day.